the wall and renovate his apartment. But after a few swings of the hammer, a horrible stench hits him from behind the wall. One glance at what's inside, and he immediately calls the police. When Jack gets the call, he doesn't waste a second. He grabs his partner Alan and races to the scene. They peer through the hole in the wall, and both of them freeze on the spot. Behind the wall is a sealed-off room. Right in the center, 3 corpses are seated around a dining table. Their postures are extremely eerie. The tableware is laid out perfectly neat. This doesn't look like a crime scene. It looks more like some kind of ritual. But the creepiest part? There are only 3 people sitting at the table, yet 4 place settings are laid out. Jack stares at the empty chair. At dawn, the medical examiner delivers the findings. The victims are 2 women and 1 man. All of them died 15 years ago. The suspected cause of death is an overdose of anesthetic. After an overnight examination of the scene, they discover that all 3 bodies actually have identification on them. An 18-year-old girl named Nicole, a prostitute named Rita, and a lawyer named Philippe. 3 people from completely different walks of life. So why did they all end up dead in the same room? And that 4th place setting on the table, who was it meant for? From the real estate agent, Jack picks up a lead. The tenant of this apartment back then was a nurse named Jenny, and the cause of death just happens to be an anesthetic overdose. The chief's reaction is immediate. Put Jenny at the top of the suspect list. Bring her in for questioning right away. But here's the problem. After all these years, Jenny has completely vanished without a trace. That's when Alan digs up something useful from old records. After Philippe went missing years ago, his wife had filed a missing person report. But just a few days later, she suddenly changed her story, saying her husband had run off with a lover. With no other leads to go on, they have no choice but to focus on Philippe's wife, Mia. Snow is falling outside. Jack and Alan track down Mia and ask her why she suddenly withdrew the case back then. Mia says she received an email from Spain. In it, Philippe said in his own words that he'd found a new love and wouldn't be coming back. Jack immediately presses further. Did Philippe have any connection to the nurse Jenny? Looking at Jenny's file, Mia points out where she used to work, the Campo Psychiatric Treatment Center. That place had received a lot of complaints at the time, and Philippe happened to have served as defense attorney on one of those cases. But here's the thing. In the police department's own system, there's absolutely no record of Philippe ever handling that case. And Mia doesn't seem to be lying. She has no reason to lie either. Just when everyone hits a dead end, Rose, the only female member of D Unit, uncovers a trace of Jenny. She finds a Spanish bank account under Jenny's name that had been regularly paying rent. Through the account, they pinpoint a property she owns in Spain. Cross-reference that with the Spanish email Mia received years ago, and the clues start converging on Jenny. A bold theory instantly forms in Jack's mind. The anesthetic, the nursing background, the Spanish address, and that email from Spain that made Mia drop the case. It all points to one thing: Jenny is very likely connected to these 3 bodies. So Jack immediately contacts the Spanish police to launch a joint operation. But by the time local officers arrive, the place is already long abandoned. As Jack gradually calms down, a nagging unease creeps in. If Jenny really is the key, then what's her motive? What kind of motive could drag 3 people from completely different backgrounds into the same sealed room? Working backward from that motive, everyone's attention lands once again on one place, the Campo Treatment Center. They dig into the victims' backgrounds and discover that both Nicole and Rita had been sent there by their families, and Jenny just happened to be a nurse there. 2 of the victims and the prime suspect all connected to the same place. This is definitely not a coincidence. The Campo Treatment Center had caused quite a stir back in its day. Many people were sent there by their families for all sorts of reasons: mental disorders, violent tendencies. Some were committed simply for getting pregnant too young. But behind all these reasons was one thing in common: these people were considered outcasts by the society of that time. Jack makes an immediate decision. The entire D Unit moves out. They head to the old site of the treatment center. The place is built on a small island, completely isolated from the outside world. The heavy-set man in front of them is the former security guard. As he leads the way, he casually mentions that anesthetics were everywhere in this place back then. Some people even smoked it like cigarettes. The moment they step inside the Campo Treatment Center, everyone can feel something is deeply wrong. Cold, oppressive. After walking through the whole place, it doesn't feel like somewhere people came to heal. It feels more like a prison. The guard also mentions that there were plenty of complaints filed against this place back then, but because people in high places were backing it, every single one was dismissed. Hearing this, Jack immediately thinks of somewhere. Even if the cases were dismissed, there should still be records. They rush to the archives that very night. The 2 of them search through files all night long and find a critical piece of information. Someone had once accused a doctor at the Campo Treatment Center of performing forced surgeries on patients. The doctor in question, Walter, and the lawyer who defended Walter in court was none other than Philippe. What sends a chill down Jack's spine is this: Walter is practically a godfather figure in today's forensic medical community. The information is overwhelming. Jack and Alan exchange a look. Cold sweat runs down their backs. Let's take a moment to lay out the case. Of the 3 victims, Nicole and Rita were both former patients at the treatment center. Philippe had represented the center in a legal case, and the prime suspect, Jenny, happened to be a nurse there. All three died from an anesthetic overdose. Anesthetics were everywhere at the center. In other words, every single piece of information in this case points back to that treatment center. And that accusation of forced surgery? It's very likely just the tip of the iceberg. Let's rewind the timeline to 1961 and take a look inside this mysterious institution. At that time, Nicole was in the prime of her youth. In a moment of impulse, she got pregnant by her boyfriend. When her conservative father found out, he was furious. He sent her straight to the treatment center. She thought once her father cooled down, she'd go home. But she never imagined that once she walked in, she'd never walk out again. Her roommate was Rita. And the people sent to this place, most of them weren't exactly normal. Someone like Nicole was like a lamb walking into a wolf's den. From the moment she stepped through that door, she never had another peaceful night's sleep. To avoid being bullied, all she could do was endure. Again and again. Back to the present. Given Walter's prominent status, Jack reports the situation to the chief immediately. The chief's instructions are clear. The Spanish side is still searching for Jenny, but it takes time. As for Walter, you can question him, but watch your step. Walter currently runs a high-end medical center. Jack goes there and asks him about what grudge the nurse Jenny might have had against the victims back at the treatment center. But Walter doesn't give a single useful answer from start to finish. As Jack is about to leave, he notices a strange photo on the desk.
Er de døde, dem der? Har et godt øje. Jeg har altid drømt om billedet. Er de døde siddende rundt om et bord til middag.
The moment those words come out, Jack is stunned.
Sidder du og giver dig selv lidt motiv her?
This is nothing but a blatant provocation. Walter knows full well that Jack can't touch him. Let's go back to the treatment center once more and see what kind of person Walter really is.
Man kan se det på dig. Se hvad? At du må råbe. Du skal se at komme ikke så hurtigt du overhovedet kan.
In this place, the standard procedure for someone like Nicole was forced termination. Rita secretly tells her that there's a fisherman who can help her escape. As for the price, they can work something out. With nowhere else to turn, Nicole has no choice but to trust her. That night, Rita skillfully picks the door lock. The two of them rush to the shore. The fisherman has clearly been waiting for a while, but Nicole never expected what he wanted wasn't just money. Just as she grits her teeth, ready to accept her fate, Walter and Jenny burst in with a group of people. In that moment, Nicole finally understands. She's been deceived from the very beginning. Walter was never treating patients. He was using the cover of medicine to do things that crossed every line. When Nicole came here, what she lost wasn't just her child. She lost the most basic right over her own body. We can clearly see Nicole is the victim. The nurse and her roommate were her tormentors. So why would Nicole, the victim, end up dead alongside the very people who hurt her? Don't rush. Keep watching. D-Unit just hit a wall with Walter. And then they get an unexpected phone call from the security guard. He claims he's sitting on Walter's secrets. When Jack and Alan meet him again, the guard doesn't hold back. He lays it all out. His aunt was one of the victims back then. All these years, he's been collecting dirt on Walter. He says that even now, Walter is still secretly performing those surgeries. At first, Jack thinks it sounds far-fetched, but when the guard plays a video, both their faces change instantly. Alan storms out of the room. Because the girl in the video is none other than his own niece, Alan immediately finds his niece and takes her to a proper hospital for examination. The results confirm everything the guard said. His niece, without her knowledge or consent, had been secretly operated on by Walter. When she learns the truth, his niece breaks down completely. Alan is absolutely livid. He swears on the spot that he will personally put Walter behind bars. The chief issues a direct order. If we're going to move, we strike to kill. The top priority is to lock down the evidence. But what they don't realize is that what they're about to face isn't just Walter alone. It's an entire network deeply rooted in covering for each other. And Walter has already sensed the police closing in. He gives the order to eliminate all loose ends. That night, the cleanup operation begins. The security guard is the first to sense something is wrong. He stares at his surveillance monitors, gripped by an inexplicable dread. He quickly calls Rose for help. At first, Rose thinks he's being paranoid. Walter may be brazen, but surely he wouldn't dare kill witnesses when the police are already watching him. Still, she goes. Meanwhile, Jack and Alan are on their way to Mia's house. Hoping to try their luck, maybe Mia has some dirt on Walter too. Pay attention to Mia's expression here. She's clearly reluctant to talk about her husband's work, but once she learns why they're really there, she unexpectedly hands over 2 boxes of Philippe's old case files. Walking out with the files, the two of them finally breathe a sigh of relief. But on Rose's end, the moment she steps into the guard's house, her face drops. The door is ajar. The place is dead silent. What she sees stops her cold. The guard is already dead. She's about to call the station when a figure in black suddenly charges out from inside. But the attacker clearly underestimates Rose's fighting ability. After a fierce struggle, the assailant can't gain the upper hand and flees in a panic. On the other side, Jack and Alan are driving back to the station. Rose's call just comes through when a motorcycle suddenly swerves out from beside them. The next second, a Molotov cocktail smashes into their car. Flames erupt instantly. The car spins out of control, slams into a pillar, and flips over completely. The figure in black gets off the motorcycle and walks toward them. The intent is clear, to silence them for good. In the nick of time, Jack finally frees his hand. He pulls out his gun and puts a bullet in the attacker's arm. Facing gunfire, the assailant has no choice but to turn and run, but the car is already engulfed in flames. The two of them desperately crawl out. In the end, they manage to save just one document. Everything else is consumed by the fire. After barely escaping with their lives, they don't dare stop. They rush straight to the guard's house. The data on his computer has been completely destroyed too. At this point, the entire department realizes something. Walter's people are bold enough to go after cops. Even the chief is starting to feel afraid. If this investigation continues, his own position might not survive. But right at that moment, Jack receives a mysterious phone call.
Så er der bid på den navnprogram. Hun er på vej fra Tyskland i en bus. Den ankommer til hovedbanen 0825.
Alan immediately asks what's going on, but Jack doesn't say a word. He just keeps walking.
Hvorfor kan du bare sige, hvad der er?
Fordi de gider ikke.
Stoler ikke på mig. Af alle mennesker.
Jack's strange behavior infuriates Alan. Early the next morning, Jack goes alone to a bus station to wait. The bus arrives. An elderly woman steps off. Jack hurries over to greet her, but before he can get two words out, she hits him with pepper spray and turns to walk away. Even a seasoned detective like Jack gets caught off guard. Jack chases after her. He finally catches up on a boat, but when the old woman sees Jack approaching, there's not a hint of panic on her face. Now, take a guess. Who is this old woman? Is she the nurse Jenny? No, she's Nicole. It turns out that the one document Jack managed to save from the fire that night wasn't a case file. It was Nicole's diary from the treatment center. What he read inside was Nicole's deep, burning hatred. The day the treatment center shut down, many people were cheering, but Nicole's eyes were ice cold. She believed her life had already been destroyed. And with this, the biggest mystery of the mummified corpse case finally makes sense. Why would Nicole, the victim, end up dead alongside Rita and the lawyer, the very people who had tormented her? If the killer were truly the nurse Jenny, the motive wouldn't add up. But if Nicole placed her own identification on Jenny's dead body, then everything falls into place. The empty seat at the table? She reserved it specifically for Walter. The bank account, the house, the email, all of it was deliberately planted as a trail. She wanted to lead the police, step by step, straight to Walter. But when Jack asks why she didn't go after Walter 15 years ago, Nicole slowly tells him her story, everything that happened over all those years. When she finishes, she clutches her boyfriend's ashes. And while Jack's attention slips for just a moment, she jumps. This is exactly why Jack had been keeping things from Alan. That night, he'd already guessed the killer was Nicole. He had considered letting her go. But on the other side, Alan's niece, after learning what had been done to her body, completely snaps. She storms into Walter's medical center alone to confront him face to face. But once she goes in, she never comes back out. When Alan gets the news, he slips into the medical center just before the doors close. He searches room after room but can't find her. Instead, he runs into one of his own colleagues. The colleague urges him to leave immediately, but Alan is too frantic to listen. He shoves open the last door and finally sees his niece lying on a couch, and Walter is standing right beside her. Alan immediately tells his colleague to go outside and call for backup. He stays behind to keep his eyes on Walter. But what no one expects is this: the colleague turns to leave. And the very next second, he turns right back around. He raises his gun and fires. Alan goes down. And with that, the truth finally reveals itself. That colleague is one of them. Rose gets word to Jack that Alan may be in danger. Jack races to the medical center. But the moment he walks in, that same colleague blocks his path again, putting on an act. He claims Alan suddenly went berserk. The second those words leave his mouth, Jack's guard goes up. He knows his partner too well. And more importantly, Jack notices blood dripping from the colleague's left arm, a left arm wound. And that night, the motorcyclist in black. It clicks instantly. Seeing the colleague about to make a move, Jack fires first. The two struggle. The colleague falls from a height. Jack rushes into the room and fires, stopping Walter just as he's about to pull the trigger. Thanks to the quick response, both Alan and his niece are saved. Walter is finally placed under official arrest. The case finally has a resolution. But more than Walter's arrest, what I really want to talk about is what Nicole said to Jack at the very end. She said that after the treatment center closed, all she had left inside was hatred. It took her a very long time to earn the trust of those three people, one step at a time. And then she killed them with her own hands, to get her revenge. But just as she was about to go after Walter, she unexpectedly received a letter from her boyfriend. It turned out that all those years, he had been waiting for her, and in that moment, it suddenly hit her. All this time, she could have started over, but she gave every last bit of it to hatred. She thought she was seeking justice for her past, but in the end, fate played the cruelest joke on her. First, the treatment center stole her youth. Then hatred consumed the rest of her life. If she had walked out of that place and chosen to let go of the hatred, if she had found the courage to go to the person who had been waiting for her all along, would her life have turned out differently? But life doesn't come with what ifs. And some answers, maybe even she herself never knew. This is what hit me the hardest after watching this film. She killed her tormentors and put an end to her suffering. But in doing so, she also sent her own life spiraling into permanent darkness, to let go of hatred, to forget the pain, to release that battered, broken version of yourself, and to embrace a new beginning. That's it for today's mystery movie breakdown. I'm Jack, thanks for watching.